We as educators need to be modeling exemplary digital citizenship. A big proponent is to teach our students to respect digital property and ownership. In comes copyright and fair use. According to copyright.gov, fair use is a legal doctrine that promotes freedom of expression by permitting the unlicensed use of copyright-protected works in certain circumstances. Thankfully, educators have some legal access to copyrighted materials to use in our classroom. The Fair Use Act allows us to use limited or small portions of original content in our classrooms without getting direct permission from the owner of said material. This, however, must always include giving credit to the original owner. The coursework for this week gave us some practical guidelines to follow under the fair use standards. The copying guidelines were very helpful to me and helped me realize that I wasn't always using materials appropriately. I did, however, know that copies should never replace purchasing materials or textbooks. This chart was also very practical and helpful. Since it isn't really possible or practical to explain each category, I decided to focus on the area I was most concerned about, which was making sure that I was practicing what I preached regarding copyright and plagiarism, and that had to do with the use of images. I love making PowerPoint presentations or video things for my students, and I use a lot of screenshots, or I copy and paste images and download YouTube videos and insert them and clip them in my presentation. So I just really wanted to make sure that I'm modeling the things that I'm trying to teach them. Upon doing some additional research, I found a resource by copyrightlaws.com that provided some practical guidelines regarding Google Images specifically. The first point is the one that was most relevant to me. I realized after the fact that a lot of educational apps actually promote proper use of images because they embed links and automated works cited elements into their applications. I experienced this with Glogster and some Google applications. So when you try to insert a multimedia element, which is a photo or a video, it actually allows you to search for what you want within the program itself. So for instance, with Glogster, there's a little button that allows you to insert images online, and I think it does a Google search. I'm not really sure. I don't remember which search engine it actually was, but when you insert a multimedia element, what it does is automatically either depending on what program you're using, it either gives you a direct link to wherever the source of that video or photo is, or it gives you like a little tiny blip of URLs that where the photo or videos came from. So that is giving credit to the original source. I think the way I would approach this in my classroom when I do my presentations and make them is actually to display the hyperlink right under the image or the video rather than linking them, just because I want my students to see consistency in me giving credit to the original owners, and just having them see that hyperlink. I think eventually after maybe like mid-year, I would then transition into making all of my images and videos as links, just as this site suggested. Okay, well, thank you for watching and listening.